Hi guys, this is Dr. Farjan. I hope you guys are doing amazing. Like always, it's such an honor to connect with you. Today, this podcast is dedicated to Podcasthon, particularly a charity called Million Reasons Run, where individuals run for children. The donations that are raised help fund life-saving research at local children's hospitals, where they help fund research for rare diseases to everyday illnesses. So this recording is dedicated to Podcastathon Million Reasons Run. Okay, so today I'm going to be talking to you about boundaries and why you're not a bad person for setting boundaries. Your mental health matters. I'll say that again. You are not a bad person for setting boundaries. Your mental health matters. Let go of the reins of trying to control everything and everyone around you, all the life unfoldings, etc. Right? You can set boundaries for your mental health. The reason you struggle with setting boundaries is because you have been programmed to make everybody else's needs and wants your responsibility. You are programmed to prioritize everyone else's happiness and well-being over yours. Basically, your existence goes to the back burner. And this is why you have trouble setting boundaries, saying no, right? It becomes this toxic cycle where loved ones get upset or individuals you care about get upset. You start to try to calm them down. They get offended. Then you're more upset and they're more upset. They get more upset. You blame yourself. Then you try to solve it again. And it becomes this toxic cycle. So what's the solution? You have to learn to accept what is. You want to know the probable action of others. When you know the probable action of others, right? If you know how your loved ones, their repetitive behaviors and the repetitive negative choices that they might engage in, you don't take it personally, right? You allow people to have their emotions and their opinions, right? You don't have to solve everything for them. You don't have to control what they think or do. You have to learn to not be responsible for it. You have to learn not to rescue them all the time, right? You don't have to rescue them, right? You have to let individuals have their own frustrations, right? You don't have to get into an emotional tug of war. You can instead observe people's emotional distress and be the space for it without rescuing them, right? So a particular strategy that you can use additionally is ask yourself, am I in my business or their business, right? And when you see yourself getting in their business, say to yourself, none of my business, none of my business, none of my business. You don't have to micromanage your loved one's business all the time, right? When you feel wronged by somebody else's actions, ask yourself, right? Am I again being in somebody else's business, right? Instead, when certain things happen, when you feel wrong, the only thing that you can control is how you feel and what you can do about it, right? So whether it's exercising, whether it's talking to a therapist about those emotions, working it out, meditating, that's what you can control. And that's what you want to focus on, right? Express yourself, but then move on. Next, other solutions include when you're setting those boundaries and when you're trying to be there for others without drowning in it, right? Or getting drained, instead of just solving things and fixing things, you can just ask questions, right? Instead, you can guide them and then move on. You can create spaces between you and your loved ones, right? How can you do that? One particular way is actually visualizing or putting not just visualizing it in your mind, but also both in visualizing and then putting your hands out, your arm out, and picturing yourself and your loved one and creating that space, right? That will help you understand that you exist and they exist and you're two different individuals, right? Their struggles don't have to become your struggles. Next, make time for your wants and needs, because when you make time for your wants and needs, you honor yourself. You honor your individuality. So clearly define what that looks like, right? It could be getting a massage weekly. It can be rollerblading. It can be taking time to read, where you take your time and you don't feel guilty about it. And then when you know what they are, you can express those needs and wants clearly. All right, guys, I hope this helps. Again, you are not a bad person for setting boundaries. You are not a bad person for setting boundaries. Take care of yourself. Dr. Farjana.